in the world of basketball as of lately because the last 24 hours have been flat out a doozy. And I'm talking about in the entire basketball world. DJ Carrington got traded to the Dallas Wings. Duka goes to my Los Angeles Lakers.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel, where we dive into the wild, unpredictable, and downright thrilling world of basketball.
Buckle up, because I've got some massive news to share with you today. News that's going to send shockwaves through the WNBA and put every fan on the edge of their seat.
Just 24 hours ago, the basketball universe was buzzing with rumors, and now it's official. DeWanna Bonner, yes, the DeWanna Bonner, six-time All-Star and one of the most clutch players in the game, has signed with the Indiana Fever. I'm still wrapping my head around this one, folks. This isn't just a signing, this is a statement. The Fever are coming for the WNBA championship, and they're not playing around. Now I know what you're thinking. What does this mean for the Fever? How does this change the game? Well, stick with me because we're about to unpack all of it. This move is seismic. It's monumental.
Now, DeWanna Bonner, six-time All-Star and the X-Factors for the Connecticut Sun just last year, who was able to make it to the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs, has...
It's the kind of roster shakeup that could tilt the entire league on its axis. The Indiana Fever have been quietly building something special, and with Bonner's arrival, they've just turned up the heat to a whole new level. Pairing her with a reunited former coach, Stephanie White, and a roster already brimming with talent. Oh, this is about to get good. Let's set the stage here. The last 24 hours in basketball have been absolute chaos, in the best way possible. Trades, signings, rumors flying left and right. DJ Carrington got shipped off to the Dallas Wings, sparking a whole reunion storyline we'll get to later. Dauka landed with my Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, I'm still hyped about that one. But the real bombshell? DeWanna Bonner, the X-Factor who took the Connecticut Sun to the WNBA semifinals just last season, is now rocking an Indiana Fever jersey. This isn't some minor depth move. This is a franchise-altering decision. ESPN confirmed it. The papers are signed, and Bonner is officially part of a Fever squad that's looking stacked. Dare I say, championship stacked.
Guys, DeWanna Bonner was coming to the Fever, and 24 hours later, I'm here to tell you, she is now officially an Indiana Fever.
Picture this lineup for a second. DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, Kelsey Mitchell, who, by the way, just re-signed with the team, and then there's the rookie sensation, Caitlyn Clark, who's already turning the league upside down. That's not a roster. That's a superpower. The Fever have gone from a team on the rise to a bona fide title contender overnight. Bonner brings defensive tenacity, scoring efficiency, and a veteran presence that's going to mesh perfectly with Clark's electrifying playstyle. Add in Cunningham's sharpshooting and Howard's toughness, and you've got a squad that's ready to run through walls for each other. Speaking of Kelsey Mitchell, let's talk about that for a minute. There were whispers, rumors floating around, that she might not be happy in Indiana. People were speculating she could bolt for greener pastures, but guess what? She shut that noise down real quick. Not only did she re-sign with the Fever, but there's video evidence of her practically glowing with excitement about playing alongside Caitlyn Clark again. "Indiana is my second home," she said in an interview, a big smile plastered across her face. "It's second nature to me. Playing with Caitlyn, Aaliyah, and this group, it's just fun. I don't want to miss out on that."
Now, I know a lot of you guys is wondering, John, what does this mean? Y'all want to know what this means? This means in WNBA championship. You know what?
8 seasons with the Fever, and she's back for more. That's loyalty. That's belief in what this team is building. And Caitlyn Clark? Where do I even start? If you've been living under a rock, let me catch you up. She's a generational talent who's already rewriting the record books in her rookie season. She's the kind of player who doesn't just elevate her own game, she lifts everyone around her. Last year, she dragged the Fever to the playoffs with a roster that, let's be honest, was thin on support. Heavy minutes, relentless defensive pressure, and the weight of being the most watched player in the league, and she still delivered. Now, with Bonner, Mitchell, and company by her side, Clark's about to take things to a whole new stratosphere. But let's not gloss over the other moves here. The Fever didn't just stop at Bonner and Mitchell. They brought in Sophie Cunningham, a versatile wing who's been vocal about wanting to team up with Clark. "I didn't know her before All-Star Weekend," Cunningham said recently, "but we bantered a bit and she's lovely. She's got so much pressure on her shoulders and she's handling it like a champ. I'd love to play with her one day."
Sorry, y'all, I am in bed, but DeWanna Bonner is expected to sign with the Indiana Fever. This is over at ESPN did confirm this. So with DeWanna Bonner, Sophie Cunningham, and Natasha Howard,
Well, Sophie, that day is here. Her ability to stretch the floor with her shooting and bring grit on both ends makes her a perfect fit for this revamped Fever squad. Then there's Natasha Howard, another veteran who's no stranger to winning. She's a force in the paint, a defensive anchor who's going to give opposing teams nightmares. And let's not forget the bench. Lexi Hull, Grace Berger, Damiris Dantas, Katie Lou Samuelson, that's depth you can count on. If I were running the Fever's draft board, I'd be eyeing someone like Seaton.
How much did it mean to re-sign with this organization now for what will be your 8th season?
Oh man, Indiana is my second home, so for me it was like second nature. Obviously.
And Caitlyn Clark, where do I even start? If you've been living under a rock, let me catch you up. She's a generational talent who's already rewriting the record books in her rookie season. She's the kind of player who doesn't just elevate her own game, she lifts everyone around her. Last year, she dragged the Fever to the playoffs with a roster that, let's be honest, was thin on support. Heavy minutes, relentless defensive pressure, and the weight of being the most watched player in the league, and she still delivered. Now with Bonner, Mitchell, and company by her side, Clark's about to take things to a whole new stratosphere. But let's not gloss over the other moves here. The Fever didn't just stop at Bonner and Mitchell. They brought in Sophie Cunningham, a versatile wing who's been vocal about wanting to team up with Clark. I didn't know her before All-Star Weekend, Cunningham said recently, but we bantered a bit and she's lovely. She's got so much pressure on her shoulders and she's handling it like a champ. I'd love to play with her one day.
The contractual stuff is always being talked about, but I look at Indiana like home, and to come back and play with people like Caitlyn and Aaliyah and our group period is just really, really fun for me.
Well, Sophie, that day is here. Her ability to stretch the floor with her shooting and bring grit on both ends makes her a perfect fit for this revamped Fever squad. Then there's Natasha Howard, another veteran who's no stranger to winning. She's a force in the paint, a defensive anchor who's going to give opposing teams nightmares. And let's not forget the bench. Lexi Hull, Grace Berger, Damiris Dantas, Katie Lou Samuelson, that's depth you can count on. If I were running the Fever's draft board, I'd be eyeing someone like Sedona Prince in the second round for some added size. They've got everything else covered, but a little more height wouldn't hurt. Either way, this roster is loaded. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Melissa Smith, she's out. Reports had been swirling that she wasn't thrilled with her situation in Indiana, and the Fever made it clear they're only moving forward with players who are all in on the vision.
She's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders.
So, Smith's gone, traded to the Dallas Wings, where she'll team up with her girlfriend, DJ Carrington. Honestly, we saw that one coming a mile away. They've been dropping hints about wanting to play together forever. Good for them, but for the Fever, it's addition by subtraction. They didn't waste a second, swooping in to grab Cunningham and keep the momentum rolling. The mastermind behind all this, Stephanie White. If you're not already a fan of hers, you will be soon. Moving on from former coach Christy Sides and bringing in White is looking like the best decision the Fever have made in years. Sides struggled to unlock the team's potential, but White, she's a different breed. She's got a clear vision, a no-nonsense approach, and a track record of winning. One of her first moves as head coach was calling Caitlyn Clark a generational player, and she's backing that up with an aggressive free agency haul. Bonner, Cunningham, Howard, Mitchell, she's surrounding Clark with the pieces she needs to shine. I hope I can be a resource for Caitlyn, White said recently. I didn't have the global spotlight she's under. Thankfully, we didn't have social media back then, but I've been through it on a smaller scale. I want to help her navigate the noise while pushing her to be her best.
I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball.
That's the kind of leadership this team needs. White isn't just here to coach, she's here to build a dynasty. Let's zoom in on Caitlyn Clark for a bit, because she's the heartbeat of this whole operation. Last season was a grind for her. She played massive minutes with almost no rest outside the Olympic break, carried an offense with limited depth, and faced constant double teams from defenses hell-bent on slowing her down. And what did she do? She led the Fever to the playoffs, the first time they'd been there in years. She averaged jaw-dropping numbers, broke records left and right, and turned players like Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston into better versions of themselves. Boston, in particular, blossomed next to Clark, emerging as one of the league's most promising young bigs. But here's the thing, Clark doesn't have to do it alone anymore. Last year, she was the underdog, the scrappy rookie everyone rooted for. Now, she's a target. The haters are crawling out of the woodwork, nitpicking every move she makes. Why is she getting all this attention? Why is she getting million-dollar offers? Blah, blah, blah. Haters gonna hate, but winners keep winning. With Bonner and Cunningham in the fold, Clark's got the support she lacked as a rookie. She's coming into this season rested, smartly turning down offers from the unrivaled league to take a few months off, and ready to take her game to the next level.
Six-time All-Star and WNBA champion DeWanna Bonner is signing with the Indiana Fever, sources told ESPN. Now,
Think about it, 4 All-Stars on one team. Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and now Bonner. That's firepower. That's versatility. That's a squad that can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the league. The Las Vegas Aces, perennial favorites, are looking shaky. Kelsey Plum's gone, and their